Okay, here I am again with another one of my yes or no questions. This one's going to be a bit of fun. It is, are Harry and Meghan on the right track? Well, this is going to be a tough one to deal with any sense of permanence because it's such a volatile situation. The story keeps developing. Certainly, the year that we're in now, 2020, has seen a number of shifts and changes in the whole Harry and Meghan saga uh, from their kind of departure from the royal stable to Canada to Los Angeles to Netflix to lawsuits. There's a lot going on, and I'm sure there will continue to be a lot. At some point, I imagine this will require one of my updates, so watch this space. Okay, well, whether they are on the right track or not is a question that certainly divides people to some extent because of royalist sympathies or not, but also because of a judgment about the people themselves and about where they're coming from and what their goals seem to be. So let's get right at it. Let's start with the yes group. Yes, they are on the right track. Well, to begin with, Meghan has said that she feels destined to help combat racism in the U.S. And of course, all of this has become far more newsworthy and relevant and important even in the whole Black Lives Matter movement, the killing of the chap in Minneapolis, the uh, the reaction of the world, both positive and negative to this, it has become hugely newsworthy. It's certainly become a feature of Trump's presidency and his, in my view, inept handling of it. So that's Meghan's one of Meghan's stated causes and goals, and it certainly is contemporary, and that's a pretty good reason for thinking they're on the right track. Secondly, Harry and Meghan appear to have demonstrated that they can manage their financial affairs, that they can survive on their own, especially since they secured this deal with Netflix. Contrary to what some of the sums reported in the press say, my guess is that it's very much a contingent deal, I would guess, with Netflix. If their programming, which they stand behind, has huge audiences and results in a lot of revenue for Netflix, then it will indeed be lucrative. Some say in the neighborhood of $100 million. So that would at least pay the school fees and keep them going in repair and maintenance for their elaborate house in California. Another reason for thinking they're on the right track is because of Harry's own position. He suffers from what one might call the spare syndrome, the notion of not being the heir to the throne but being the spare. It's certainly a position not to be envied, and has resulted in some pretty bad behavior from people like Princess Margaret and Prince Andrew. With hindsight, I suppose you have to conclude they're pretty much useless people, really. And that's the system. So in effect, Harry, who's a nice chap and went to war and so forth, is inflicted with this unfortunate position, and so one can understand how he might feel alienated and not connected. In addition, there is this kind of dark suspicion, which he may or may not harbor himself, that he's not even the son of Prince Charles. And if he thinks that, then that, of course, could make him feel all the more alienated and ready to embark upon some other kind of project. If he thought he wasn't really a member of the family that he's supposed to be a member of, that could have, of course, widespread consequences. Next, there is the question of the phenomenon of woke. As I mentioned in another video, could woke be the new enlightenment? Harry and Meghan are really becoming kind of the epitome, almost the poster boy and girl for woke. Woke is the gradual waking up of people in general to racial and social injustice and discrimination over the years, and a determination to highlight it and perhaps address it. Well, that's really what Harry and Meghan are doing. They're woke. And if there was ever a phenomenon which does not fit with the royal family, with their dependence on establishment protocols and history and roles and so forth, it's woke. So another reason why really they're on the right track to get themselves away from it. Finally, there's the question of Meghan's integration with the royal family and the failure of that endeavor. Meghan is smart, she's articulate, she's self-made, she's made her own money, she's American, she's non-white. There are a lot of reasons why she has utterly nothing in common with the other members of the royal family. Must be very hard for her to have, number one, thought that she could successfully integrate with them. I suppose she thought that she could kind of bring them around to her way of thinking. And if Harry had had any sense, he would have told her that that was impossible. Maybe he did. But I can't see that there ever was any real prospect for Meghan thriving in that environment. So that's the final reason why many people would say, yes, they're on the right track. Well, what about those who would say, no, this has been a big mistake, they're on the wrong track, how dreadful? Well, number one, they've turned their backs on the royal family. I mean, a revered institution, an ancient one, world famous, loads of money and privilege. Who would want to walk away from that? That's really a dumb move, and I just can't imagine why she would have done that. Next, Harry had carved out quite a nice position for himself with the army and the support projects to look after army veterans, particularly those who had some form of disability from their time in Afghanistan and Iraq. Well, he's pretty much had to give all of that up. Now, that was something that really meant a lot to him, and for which he was really well suited. He had the guts to go into a combat situation and only departed from it because of the mistakes some journalists made, apparently. So, what a shame. But I imagine he misses it, but his course of action has prevented that from being able to go any further. That really is evidence of a big mistake. Next, to some at least, Harry has the appearance of being kind of a lost soul. He's kind of thrashing around, and he is, of course, under the influence of a very strong woman, and as he once said, what Meghan wants, Meghan gets. So he is a sort of junior partner in this alliance, and gosh, what a shame that is. I guess it's just another example of how their whole bold strategy is misplaced. It's wrongly directed, and it's a shame for Harry. He's not in the right place, and therefore he's not on the right track. Well, Harry and Meghan wanted their cake and wanted to eat it too. They wanted all the financial support and advantages and so forth, including lavish housing arrangements in the UK, without, as it were, earning it. This really did cause a lot of resentment. The amount of money that was spent refurbishing Frogmore House, the big building on the Windsor estate, which was considerably improved for them, and we now understand that money will be paid back. And I don't know. I'd like to see the check, but in any case, a certain amount of resentment, really, from the UK taxpayer who support the royal family, that we had to somehow provide them with security support in California and so forth. Now, of course, the Netflix deal may have eliminated the need for that, but maybe not. We shall see. And then finally, there is the sad business of how all of this initiative has apparently damaged, perhaps even irreparably, the relationship between the two brothers. Harry and William were very close. They were brought close by the tragedy of their mother's death. They certainly shared a lot of experiences and difficulties along the way, but that seems now to have been torn apart. Isn't that awful? Gosh, another reason why this was all a big mistake. Okay, well, there you have arguments on both sides. I think some pretty powerful ones in each case. So you might well ask, what is my take? Well, here's my take. I wish Harry and Meghan well. I really do. I think the direction they're going in makes sense, particularly because of their value systems, what they want out of life. I just simply don't think it would have fit very well with the atmosphere in the royal family in Britain. I do think they're both, in many respects, immature and naive, and will make a lot of mistakes along the way, inept lawsuits, perhaps some bad deals, silly statements to the press, one thing and another, but they'll kind of muddle through all of that, and I think they'll be okay. I hope they will. I think their hearts are in the right place, and I think they've got a reasonable chance in the long run of succeeding. And he'll need a good tax advisor. Okay, that's how I come out. Hope you like that. Hope it didn't rile too many people, but I think the arguments are pretty clear and kind of hard to argue with. So if you liked it, give me a like, make some comments, please. Subscribe, please, and give me a notification. And we'll see you at the next one. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.